Public speaking is a big challenge. Doing any kind of presentation is difficult. You've got a lot of things to worry about. What will people think of you? Will the equipment work? Who wants to listen to me? What if I make a mistake? Are my slides okay? There is so much going on in your head, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. What makes it worse are all the so-called experts out there giving you advice. So as a public speaking trainer for over 10 years, I'm going to share the 21 things I wish I knew when I did my first presentation. Rough around the edges is far better than word perfect. When your presentation isn't 100% perfect, the audience connects with you more easily. They connect better because they can see your human side. Imagine you're doing a business presentation to convince someone to buy your product or as part of your promotion test. A perfectly delivered presentation with everything timed just right can be good, but a presentation that's a bit rough with some restarted sentences, some ums and ahs, can come across as a lot more natural, a lot more credible, and a lot more trustworthy. So relax, you don't need to be perfect. You said good morning, you welcomed everyone, you ran through your agenda, you talked about 3 topics, you answered questions, summarized, and closed. You even used simple, well-designed slides that didn't take the focus off your talk. You ticked all the boxes, but nobody paid attention. 0 people from the audience took the action you asked them to. What went wrong? Well, it's not enough just to tick all the boxes. It's not enough just to go through the motions. You need to show them that you can understand their concerns and troubles. You need to show them how you can help them. If your goal is to put the audience to sleep, have PowerPoint front and center. You know those awful presentations, right? The ones where the presenter reads every single bullet point, careful not to miss a single one. You sit there in the audience straining to see the number of pages on the bottom right-hand corner. How long will I have to sit here? How long until this nightmare is over? There are 2 ways to use PowerPoint effectively in a presentation. Don't use it, or use it to support your speech that you already know how to deliver without slides. A huge mistake that newbie presenters and new company entrants make is assuming that presentations about business topics need to be stiff and boring and formal. Even in business, your presentation needs to be engaging. And boring and stiff and formal are not engaging. You shouldn't take the chance that your presentation is going to be boring. You shouldn't take the chance that your audience is not going to be engaged. Because if the audience aren't listening to you, you're wasting your time. The most important thing you can do from the stage is give the audience a reason to be sitting there. If the audience don't know what's in it for them, they're unlikely to listen to you bang on for 30 minutes. So you need to frame your presentation in a way that the audience understands how they benefit from it. What if the technology fails? What if you forget your lines? What if someone asks an antagonistic question you weren't expecting? If you know your subject well, you're golden. When you write out and memorize a script, you're practicing under perfect conditions. On stage, things often don't go as expected. The way you imagine things were going to play out doesn't materialize. This can throw you off and make you forget your script. Knowing your subject well and in depth overcomes any of these problems because you're able to just talk about the subject that you know well. It doesn't matter how well reasoned your argument is, you're not going to win your audience over with logic. People are emotional first, logical second. And the perspective of your logic might be completely different from the perspective of the audience. Frame your speech in a way that appeals to the audience's emotions and you're much more likely to win them over. If you forget one of your lines or you make a mistake, don't worry about it, just move on. If you say something incorrectly, just correct it and move on. Your audience doesn't know what you're going to say, so unless you make a big deal of a mistake, they're not going to notice. Just move on. Forget trying to fill time limits. Trying to keep strictly to a time limit can be ruinous for your presentation. Padding your presentation can turn a great speech into a drawn-out, arduous affair. It becomes just like trying to meet an essay word count in high school. Just say what you need to say and sit down. You lose your power the more you use your voice. The more you use your voice, the more likely it is you're going to use filler words. If you have time, record yourself practicing your presentation. Watch it back and look at all the ways you use ums and ahs. Re-practice your presentation and try and remove those ums and ahs. Instead of instead of ah, instead of just pause. A pet peeve of mine is see a presenter be called to the stage to do their presentation, get to the stage and then ask for permission to begin. This kind of permission seeking negatively impacts your presentation credibility and confidence. As a presenter, you are in charge as soon as you've been introduced. You are in control of that room. Don't ask for permission. Instead, just do what you need to do and say what you need to say. No one is going to interrupt you. Most presenters start their preparation from the introduction or from the slide deck. This really sets you up for a disengaged audience and a boring presentation. To prepare well, you need to start from the end. Decide where it is the audience needs to go, and then decide how you're going to convince them positively to go there. Once you've decided these things, everything else just falls into place. If you're enthusiastic about your presentation, so are the audience. If you're disinterested in your presentation, the audience is not going to feel bad about ignoring you and checking their email. Does the audience trust you? That's up to you. You don't need to prove to the audience that you deserve their trust. You just have to act like it. Make eye contact, have a confident body position, speak clearly and slowly, and pause often. And know your subject matter well. Public speaking is tough. You're being judged by the audience, right? Well, you're being judged, but not in the way you think. You can feel like they're waiting for you to slip up. They're waiting for you to fail. In fact, they're judging how you're going to deliver the presentation so that they know how they're going to act. If you look like you're doing well, they will listen more. If you look like you're going downhill, the audience is going to release their attention because it's uncomfortable for them. You see, love you or hate you, the audience is on your side because your failure means discomfort for them too. They want you to succeed. Always remember, the audience is on your side and wants you to succeed. Doesn't matter how many presentations you do in your life, you'll never remove the anxiety completely. So harness that anxiety. Use the anxiety as a reminder to give everything you've got in this presentation. The more you give, the more of a connection you build with your audience. Even the toughest audiences can be tamed. The key is to empathize with them. Most business presentations lack empathy. They're focused solely on sharing information. They give no consideration to why anyone should care about the information being shared or what it means to them. To win your audience over, just talk about how they can benefit. Show them you understand the difficulties they face learning that new computer system. Show them how you can support them. Show them the brighter future for them, not just for the company. You don't know what's going on in that guy's head, so stop trying to read the minds of the audience. You don't know what's going on in their work or personal lives. So that scowl, that defensive posture, that angry sounding question is most certainly not directed at you. Stop trying to read minds and just focus on delivering the presentation as best you can. Many speakers hate question time. You've just finished this massive task of doing a speech and now it feels like you're on trial. But here's the thing, the more questions you get, the more likely it is that your audience has bought into the idea in your presentation. Questions are a good thing. Welcome them and deal with them confidently and efficiently. Have a plan for your Q&A session. Consider the kind of questions you're going to get asked and come up with succinct answers. Plan to always answer questions in as few words as possible, because the more you talk, the more time the audience has to trip you up. Plan to put off lengthy answers or answers which might end up being unclear. For example, I don't have all the data with me to accurately answer that question. Can I send you an email later? You don't need to waste time practicing a script over and over and over again. Not if you follow some simple steps to prepare your presentation. Know your subject matter really well. If you don't know your subject matter well, get up to speed before you do anything else. Decide where it is you want the audience to go or what it is you want the audience to do. Pick the 3 key themes that you are going to talk about in your presentation. Practice delivering your presentation based on your knowledge of the subject matter and the 3 key themes you've decided you're going to talk about. And that's it. Guys, if you found this video entertaining or educational, please smash the like button, consider subscribing, and if you want more videos about public speaking and presentation tips and advice, check out the video that's on the screen right now. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.